As founder of Searchforce, he managed clients with some of the world's largest ad budgets, such as Salesforce.com, Priceline, Experian, and Oracle. It's not easy to raise $10 million in financing or to optimize $1 billion in media ads, but he did it. The next to speak, welcome the founder, president, and CEO of GrowthMachines and growth mentor at 500 Startups, Samir Patel.
Thank you, guys. How's everyone doing? Feeling good? It's 5 p.m. All right. I need my clicker. All right. So when I came here, I was going to speak about growth hacking and growth for startups, and I was thinking, what should I do to show that I'm a growth hacker myself, right? So what I wanted to do here is get to know as many people as possible when I come to Sofia, Bulgaria, right? And I wanted to reach as many people as possible, so I modified my LinkedIn profile like that, saying I'm going to be speaking at Seeds, come say hello to me. And what I wanted to do was to, let's say, meet CEOs and CMOs around Sofia, Bulgaria area, right? So what I did was I did a search for LinkedIn for that, and then turned this into a bot. So automated bot that visits people's profiles. So let's say I had a search result of 1,000 people of interest that I wanted to meet in Bulgaria. The bot actually goes and visits different profiles automatically, and there's a statistic in LinkedIn that if I see you and you see me back and I send you an invite, there's a 40% likelihood that you'll connect with me. So knowing that statistic, this bot actually goes and visits each and every profile. So if you see my my profile views shot up, so it has already gone to 800, and today it has gone to 1,200 people a day, and 40% of that is a pretty huge number. That's the kind of connections I can make globally for free, right? The idea here was that I could have posted a LinkedIn ad or a Facebook ad, and it would be like $3 a click for me, right? And here, I've completely avoided that, and you know, my profile has kind of become my ad in some ways, right? So the idea here to demonstrate is that you know, there's a lot of talk about growth hacking and what it is and what it is not, and you know, a lot of people think it's bullshit. But what I wanted to show you here is it's not. You could, when you use lean marketing with software engineering and automation, combine it with data analytics and testing, that's what growth hacking means. Basically, what I did in this example is we wrote a bot or used software engineering and automation. We used lean marketing. I had a marketing problem. I solved it with technology, and it is all data driven, right? I have a lot of numbers on each of these things. So this is a good example of what it could be. So as startups and founders of growth companies, or if you're VCs or investors, all your startups, you know, most of the startups die, right? And one of the metrics that they've found is if you're able to maintain and sustain growth over time, you can save your startup, right? And earlier on, you don't have a lot of capital to do that, so you need to be very creative about doing it. So just a quick background about myself. I have managed the world's largest budgets. I've created a company called Searchforce earlier that manages $1 billion today. It uses math and statistics to automatically allocate bids and budgets across different networks, and you can manage your social, search, mobile, all of it from one place. I'm also a mentor at Growth at 500 Startups, and I have an MBA in brand marketing. One of my latest company does a lot of growth consulting, and we provide growth training for CEOs and CMOs, and we also provide growth execution. So, you know, we become your outsourced growth team. Okay, so getting back to as an entrepreneur or founder in these days, you know, when you get money and you need to advertise, there's a zillion ways you can get users, right? You can do SEO, word of mouth, podcast ads, affiliate marketing, Twitter, Facebook. I mean, tons of things, right? At what you need to do. And the idea here is you're driving traffic to your website from acquisition to activation to referral, retention, and revenue. So those are the phases on which you want to grow and you want to bring in traffic. And for one of the first hacks that I use to be able to quickly figure out my growth strategy is like the lean canvas, where you can quickly work out your problem, solution, UVP, unfair advantage, cost structure, revenue streams. So very, very quickly you can print a map of this out and get started. The second one that I use is now coming back to more marketing strategy. So this is a marketing canvas that you could download from cezary.com, and this will really distill what your mission is, brand is, what your target audience is, what your marketing niche is, and really hone in everything you need to get your online marketing started, right? Once you're done with it, you go and create a differentiation map, because any company that starts out these days, like Uber or a lot of other companies, are very focused on the customer experience, and design is an important element of differentiation. So this map really helps you to create a strategy around it. So it's at difference.is, and you'll see maps from Uber, Warby Parker, a lot of the top companies, and you'll be able to figure out how to use this. Once you have figured out your marketing strategy, your business plan, your differentiation strategy, now it comes time to, like, where do I advertise? Where do I market, right? I have so many channels that I could get customers from. Which should be first? Which should be second? Which should be third? So this is a map, a model provided by Brian Belroff of HubSpot. And this lets you set up all the channels like SEM, search engine marketing, SEO, virality, sales on one column. And the criteria on how you should rank each of these distribution channels for growth on the vertical side. So what is the cost of it? How precise the targeting of each channel? What is the control you have over results? What's the input time? What's the output time? And what's the scalability factor? So this lets you figure out which channels you should go after first and second and third, and based on the risk of each of the channels. And if you're a traction phase company, you will have a different outcome because you have limited budget, and you're very risk averse, right? Whereas if you've just gotten Series A, Series B, and VCs are telling you to scale up as fast as possible, you have more scalability needs and less of the risk averseness, right? So you could use this as a very valuable tool. So once you figure out what channels you want to go after first, second, or third, you set up your analytics framework. And the ERV metrics from Dave McClure is a really awesome tool for you to do that. And you could set up your analytics by using this method. And now you can use all the channels to drive traffic into the website. And this model will hold all your data in one place. So you know how many people came to your website, what do they do, do they come back, do they tell others, how do you exactly make money, is the onboarding experience good enough for customers or not? So you have a nice measurement platform for your growth now. After that, you would put in the metrics that you want to measure, right? So these are, our early stage investors, later stage investors, all of them would want you to track different metrics, and you should be tracking them anyway. So these are the 6 metrics that you ought to be tracking. One is churn, which is a huge one for investors. The second is contracted monthly recurring revenue, and then you obviously want to track cash, how much you have, lifetime profit per customer, and customer acquisition cost ratio. So these are the ones that you should have wired in from day one. Some of them may not apply to the kind of business that you do, but you should have this very key metrics tracked all the time. Okay, so next one is a practical tip for bootstrap entrepreneurs is to use Fiverr. I mean, I use Fiverr for everything possible in the world. And it's not only, I mean, you can get a guy in India on a buffalo to hold up your logo, but it's not really useful, but it's funny. But for $5, but you can get the most important thing you can use it for is creating your WordPress website for like $10. You could use it to install Yoast or do SEO for you, or create a SEO report for you. You can create logos, you can create images, you can create tons of stuff. You'll be shocked how talented people are on Fiverr. So very low budget, and you can get a lot of things done really fast. So that's a huge thing that I use all the time. The next part is once you do have the website ready, using your WordPress platform, your Yoast platform, and you have all the websites running, one of the huge things I see over and over is people fail in mobile optimization, right? And nowadays, I mean, most of the traffic is flowing through mobile, and it's going to get compounded really fast. So these are the 4 or 5 things that I see that are a huge problem with most websites. So this can be your checklist. And the next huge portion of this is now you have a strategy, you have traffic, and now all the traffic is coming on your landing pages, right? And you have huge attrition going on, huge bounce rates going on your landing pages. So what is it that you want to use? So you could use a combination of Unbounce and a company called Optimizely to test your landing pages and gather data around it, and track it, test it, and convert your traffic really well. So that's a big one. The other one, a huge one that I see is also in pricing. So on the landing pages, a lot of you guys have pricing posted, and you want to use something called a decoy effect, where from a psychological perspective, if you give people only 2 options, it's very hard for people to make decisions. So a lot of people are using a third pricing to be able to have people point to the one that the option that you want people to take. So then the other one is called I call it the Samuel Jackson email hack. But the idea here is for you to create automated mail tools, so you can get referrals very easy, right? Like, don't assume that people will share your automatically share your offering with other friends and referrals. You need to program in automated mail tools so that people can click a button and automatically create an email which automatically shares to other people. Then there's a cliffhanger principle to drive influence, where you can use this amazing tool called Muckrack, M-U-C-K-R-A-C-K, to really get people a list of influencers that you really want, a list of influencers that will create the viral group for you everywhere in the world. And Muckrack is a great tool for you to get that top influencers, and be able to affect them. Another great tool for this is BuzzSumo, so we'll talk about it a little bit later, about influencer marketing. So let's talk a little bit about onboarding. So how many people know retargeting here? Oh, a lot of people. Wow, you guys are pretty savvy. So you can use retargeting very effectively to provide individual and onboarding. So you could do this using, of course, Facebook. You can use this using AdRoll. And I think the key to retargeting that I've found over and over is to be able to go into very granular audiences, because what I see people all the time do is they will have 1 or 2 lists in retargeting, right? Whether you need to have 7 to 15 very granular retargeting lists, right? And it sounds very basic, but most people don't filter their audiences quite a bit. So, but you could use retargeting for onboarding, not only getting new people or retargeting them. So you can also, if you don't have a full-fledged money to buy a marketing automation tool, there's a great tool called Orbiter, and this plugs in right into your WordPress website or WordPress blog, and it lets you customize content and optimize content on user behavior, and it costs like hundreds of dollars as compared to other, expensive marketing automation tools. So as a startup, you can quickly use this, just a few $100, and it gives you the bare bones functionality. Um, Also, what we find in most e-commerce store is there's a huge abandonment rate, right? All of you guys know, like, I mean, people just freeze at the shopping cart and then they just leave, right? So what enclosing shopping cart process means is you want to let them do as little as possible during the checkout process, right? And also have a thorough follow-up process, like this dog here. Why did you leave me? You know? So, sending an email back when people are stuck or they haven't finished the checkout process, simple act of doing that increases conversion rate significantly. So, the next one is this amazing tool called BuiltWith. This is my favorite tool. It lets you, so I did a search for Uber here, and it gave me a lot of data. It actually gave me their entire marketing stack. So you could go to builtwith.com, you could type in the name of the company or competitor to see what technology stack they run, what marketing stack they run. So here you are clearly seeing they're using a combination of Optimizely, which is a landing page optimization tool. They're using Crazy Egg, which is a heat map tool. They are using Quantcast for measurement. They're using domain insights. They're using compete.com tags. So what this does is BuiltWith goes through all the tags on a particular website. And the reason this is useful is Uber has taken years, or Geico or any big company has taken years to develop their marketing stack. They've taken years to figure out where they should advertise, right? And in 2 minutes, you get their stack, what they're doing, where they're doing, right? So it's an awesome tool. Another way to use BuiltWith is, let's say if you're selling to Magento's customers, or if you're selling to Optimizely's customers, this gives you a sales lead list right away. Like, it gives you the first name, last name, contact emails for all the people who use certain platforms. So that's another big one. This keywordtool.io does a reverse lookup for all the websites and the targeting that you're doing for different keywords. So this, and then it gives you a nice list from all the major platforms, from Google to Bing to YouTube to the App Store, right? What keywords are being searched, and all of you guys know when you type in something, Google does autocomplete, right? So this gives you results from semantically similar autocompletes. So it's a really, really fast tool. QuickSprout is the 19th hack, which lets you compare you and your competitors instantly, your social reach, your mobile reach. Basically, it's a benchmark marketing report for you across different websites and across different competitors. Hack number 20 is SumoMe. This is a very, very quick plugin in your WordPress platform that you can use. You can have an automated scroll box. You can have content marketing, heat maps, a lead builder, notification engine, and you could do this within like 7 minutes, right, without needing any programming. So this is the fastest way to start collecting email addresses, and it doesn't require any technical knowledge. When you start writing content in content marketing, this is the long copy hack. What statistically they've seen is when you write any piece of content that's over, like you see, the highest content is around more than 2,000 keywords. So SERP did this study that Google tends to favor content pieces that are above 2,000 keywords, right? So whenever you're writing keywords, you shouldn't write like nonsense or bullshit or repeatable things just to get to 2,000. But it does tend to favor that. So SERPIQ.com has a lot of the actual research on it. But and this is one of my other favorite tools, is to find anybody's email address really, really quickly. It's called CellHack, and it even has an API. So what this does is when you type in a name of the first name and last name of a person and the company, it goes through the entire social web, and if there's an email address, it will find it from anywhere, right? If there is no email address, it will try to find other employees who work at the same company, figure out the string of how they create their email addresses, and gives you a best estimate of what this person's email could be, right? And this is very useful for fundraising, lead generation, lot of things that you want to do to find email addresses. So it's a really fast tool. Blog titles. This website really, really helps you. It's called Portent's Content Idea Generator. So I just typed in startup growth hacking there, and it automatically gave me a somewhat of a cool title. So if you don't know, if you're not able to figure out what cool headlines to do for your blog post, it's a pretty good tool. You can keep refreshing it and it'll give you many ideas. The retargeting, we talked a little bit about retargeting via Facebook and AdRoll. And this is a funny cartoon. It says, I posted our couch on Craigslist, and now Facebook is trying to sell it to me. So, yeah. So I think you want to use retargeting if you're a startup. Like, it has very, very high returns for your investment if you do it right. So just very, very quickly, there's 7, you may think just retargeting is just retargeting people who come to your website, but there's like 7 to 10 types of retargeting, right? Based on search intent, based on video searches done on Google, a site retargeting, SEO, SEM retargeting, email retargeting, contextual retargeting, how well they engage, what they do on the website, what they do on your social websites. There's lots of types of retargeting, so remember that. The next one is called exit intent. How many people have seen like pop-ups come up when you're about to leave? Oh, many people. And it's kind of annoying, right? But the idea, but they convert really well, right? So they usually but you can use them at different parts of the funnel. Like, for example, if you use a pop-up when people are not checking out and there's like 20 seconds have passed or a minute have passed, and if you give them a discount, like 20% off if you buy in the next 10 minutes, right? Then it's very, very effective. But if you keep annoying them, that's not great. But again, there's many tools for exit intent. There's a lot of open source tools as well. So you should definitely find a good way of using it. And a new tool is called Conspire, and this tool actually helps you find the shortest distance between you and the person you're trying to reach. And it auto-constructs an email introduction for you. So if I'm trying to reach somebody at, let's say, Sequoia Capital, it finds the exact path and to the person, the shortest path and a visual path. So you're able to see and ask for an introduction. So when you type in the person, like get an introduction, it automatically creates an email for you. And it makes the connectivity, the hops, much easier. LinkedIn interface is like super ugly. This is an amazing interface. So Conspire is a great tool. SimilarWeb is kind of the cheaper version of Compete.com, but it gives you very, very macro data on all your competitors, yourself, their mobile life, their customer engagement, and all those things. So it's a super, super useful website. You can look at across apps, like App Annie. You can look at it across industries and so on. So very useful. Okay, so these are like the growth hacker tools. Import.io. How many people know Import.io here? Oh, only 2 people. 3. Oh, a lot of people. 3 people. So it does web data extraction super, super fast. So it will. It's a tool, it's a platform that you can customize to be able to extract data. So you could use it to collect emails, names, customer contact lists, and many, many other things, right? And Mozenda is the same, and Scrapebox is the same. So these are very, very useful for you to get a lot of lead generation going for anything that you want to do, whether it's investors or whether it's customers, whether it's press, it helps you with everything. And we talked about Unbounce earlier, that could be your landing page platform. Lead Pages is a little bit more extensive, where it lets you customize and really, really fire up all your landing pages. So whether you want to do a prototype testing or whether you want to do a full-fledged 3 or 4 page website, this really helps you build it really fast. I talked about the skyscraper content marketing technique. So this one is actually BuzzSumo. So before you start writing any content that you think is awesome, check it here if data says it's awesome, right? So this lets you research. Let's say I want to write a post on content marketing. This is getting all the posts all over the web and telling me what pieces of content, what articles or infographics or videos and all different kinds of contexts, how many times is it shared, right? So nowadays it's not about writing content just for the sake of writing content. It's about distribution, right? So you want to see what for your topic or a set of topics, which ones articles has previously has the best distribution. So this gives you a count of how many times it was shared, right? So it helps you with amplification. You use this and you develop your content marketing strategy, your inbound strategy. They also have a list of influencers, so you would know if you write, let's say if I'm writing on growth hacking, I want to know who I want to share this with across the social web. Who are the influencers who will amplify this content? So I want to know in advance before I write the content. I want to cultivate relationship with these influencers and so on. So it's a more strategic outlook to your content development as opposed to just writing stuff. Um, Pre-targeting to warm up. So a lot of entrepreneurs, get email lists from sources, and they just blast it off using Mailchimp, right? And then they get blacklisted. And most people don't know who the hell you are, so they never respond. So you want to warm up people to introduce to who you are before you ask them for any favors or conversions. So you could use actually email pre-targeting to warm them up, right? Which means you can upload your audience list, your email list to Facebook or AdRoll and pre-target these people so they know who Samir is before they get a random email from Samir, right? Or your company. So it's a softer way for you to introduce yourself, and then you could send them an email. So pre-targeting for warming people up is a good hack. Mode.com lets you display, do a research on display ads. So here I typed in Uber. It grabbed me all the display ads that are running everywhere in the world. And if you pass your mouse over each of the ads, it tells you where they have placed it. So now you know Uber's where they put their display ads and what websites they target their ads at. And you learn a lot about what colors they use, what branding messages they use, what is the latest promotions that they're running, and so on. So incredibly valuable tool. And all of these tools that I showed you are mostly free, so anybody can use them. Moz.org has an amazing set of 6 or 7 tools that you should be looking at. One of the cool ones that I like is backlinks generator, which gives you all the links that are pointing to you or your competition, right? And this gives you, again, a view into how to do your inbound marketing strategy, especially your off-page SEO. Spyfu, this tool, SPYFU, will give you all the SEO that you need. What are the inbound links? What keywords are competitors using? What keywords are they? What CPC are they paying for each of the keywords? And what ads are top for your competitors? Like what ads are they running? What is the content of their ads, and so on. So another tool like this is SEMrush. So that was the last hack. So if you want to get in touch with me, we have a newsletter at www.thegrowth.academy, where we send out a newsletter on growth hacking and practical tips and strategy and tactics, as well as feel free to email me. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.